Hi, I'm DIYite and today's video is all about preventing condensation in your home. So why does condensation occur? Well, it happens when air, which has become saturated with moisture, meets a cold surface. You've probably tuned into this video because you've got water running down the inside of your windows. There's 3 ways you can reduce condensation in your house in the winter. Reduce moisture in the air, provide adequate ventilation in the rooms where most of your moisture is generated, and increase the temperature of the rooms concerned. The biggest culprits of condensation in our house are cooking in the kitchen and showering and bathing in your bathrooms. The other major source, I'm afraid to say, is drying racks, because if you think about it, as your wet clothes dry, all that moisture in your clothes is just being released into the air. And what does it do? Then it just attaches itself to your windows and other cold surfaces in the house. So I'm afraid, particularly at this time of year in this weather, when you can't dry things outside, you've got to use your tumble dryer where possible. And make sure that tumble dryer is either a condenser or the flue for it goes straight outside. When you're cooking, cover a saucepan with a lid to reduce steam. If you've got an oven hood with an extractor, put it on the highest setting to get rid of as much steam as possible. If you've got windows in the kitchen, open them when you're cooking. Also, when you're in the kitchen, or for that matter in the bathroom, shut the door, prevent the steam from spreading to other rooms in the house. Another little trick I use, when you're boiling a kettle, stop the kettle just before it boils. And then pour cold water into the kettle, cool it down, and reduce the steam that's given off. Your bathroom is the other major culprit for causing condensation in your house. Wherever possible, invest in a decent extractor fan to remove as much moisture from the air after you've had your bath or shower. When I did my new bathroom recently, I fitted an EnviroVent because they had the best reviews for removing the maximum amount of moisture. The other thing you can do with your extractor fan is set it to stay on after you've left the bathroom and completed your shower or bath. That way, for the next sort of 20 to 30 minutes, it's constantly working to remove the vapour in the room. If you've got a window in your bathroom, open it when you're having a bath or shower, because that will release a huge amount of the water vapour that's being released into the air, and it'll just shove it all outside. Finally, when you're painting your bathroom, make sure you use an eggshell based paint or a paint that is specifically designed for bathrooms, because this will prevent moisture in the air sinking into the walls. If you use a standard emulsion, the chances are the moisture will sink into the walls and, at worst, create nasty unsightly stains as it brings the stains and other impurities out of the wall. Installing double glazing will also help to reduce condensation, as will dry lining your walls with plasterboard, ideally with some sort of thermal insulation board behind. Prevention is obviously better than the cure, so everything I've just outlined will help to reduce the condensation forming on your walls and windows. But once the condensation is there, what do? Well, you've got to remove it as effectively as possible without reintroducing it back into the air. So how do you do that? Well, what you mustn't do is simply wipe the windows with a towel, put the towel onto the radiator, because when the water evaporates from the towel, it's just going straight back into the air and then will just form on the windows again the next evening. I use 2 methods to remove condensation from my windows. So, one way you can remove the condensation from your windows is to use a window vac. I haven't got one of these myself, so I borrowed this from a friend. It's the Karcher WV30 window vac. Cordless, rechargeable, and it's got a reservoir on the back to catch the condensation. You can simply pour the condensation you captured down the sink, removing all that moisture from the air in your home. And there we go, all the condensation that a minute ago was on the window has gone into the reservoir on the back of the vacuum. The other thing that's really impressive about this vacuum is that the windows, which a minute ago were sodden, are now completely dry. Run my finger down it, nothing there. And remember, by vacuuming the condensation off the windows and then pouring it down the sink, you're stopping this cycle of the condensation evaporating in the sun, going into the air, and then reforming on the windows in the evening. The other thing you can do if you don't want to shell out £60 on a window vacuum is do something like this. This is a squeegee that I bought from Homebase for a few quid. I've cut the end off it to reduce the width because I wanted it to fit between the leaded panels on my window. I'm just going to go down each pane of glass with the squeegee, removing the condensation. And then at the bottom, using the sponge bit on the back of the squeegee, I'm just wiping it off the window. That's another very effective but cheaper way of removing the condensation from your windows. So I really hope you found this video useful. For more help with your DIY, you might want to visit my website charliediywite.co.uk or subscribe to my channel here for access to more videos and DIY know-how.